Strolling, hip hop, rock and rollin' for your diamonds and your pearls. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Dr. Funk podcast. Thank you guys so much for subscribing on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and everywhere else. Thank you for donations. Cannot wait to get started with this week's show. I know that you're going to have people from Australia and Japan and everywhere up in here shortly. So you guys can say where you're from, so Robia knows. And that's it. That's what we're saying right now. We have a special guest of Robia Scott here with us. And as you guys would know her more, the Prince community would know her more from Pearl or the 90210 fans or Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans as Miss Calendar. We're going into that. What's going on, everyone? Thank you guys so much for doing it. I don't want to have you guys wait any longer. We'll wait for you guys to get in the room. But I am so excited to have this guest on. What's up, Tia? And just, you know, we have more to stay on the last show, but I'm looking forward to having this person on. Was so thankful that people were reaching out for her about a month ago to have on. And as you guys know, the Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe is coming out October 27th. And come on, how can you not have this person be involved? Ladies and gentlemen, Pearl from Diamonds and Pearls, Miss Robia Scott.
Woohoo! Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here as well. So, wow. No one needs to see this. But yeah. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
I thank you again so much for reaching out.
Of course.
And whatnot. Like, you know, it just meant a lot. And I just wonder, has the estate reached out to you at all to be involved with this project at all for the Diamonds?
No, actually, they haven't. I mean, ever since way back when I finished Diamonds and Pearls, that was pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they do contact you because I like for you to be involved.
I do too. I mean, it kind of makes sense as the pearl half of Diamonds and Pearls to be a part of these things.
Right. And
I mean, it's only been a minute. It's only been a year or two.
Right. It's sometimes, as he would say, time is a trick. Right.
Yeah.
So there's just some things I'm going on because I know how things kind of like happen for you. We're going to have it go on as we see people. I know if people from Australia were super excited that you're going to be in here because I know that that was the first time they ever got to see Prince.
Australia was amazing. We were 3 weeks in Australia doing the world tour, the live tour. I think I even have the program from Australia. We'll have to get to that, but I have some fun things, and I had something from, oh wait, I think right here. Let me see. Yeah. Check that out.
That is awesome.
Touring Australia. 92. What? Are you kidding me?
That's like a tour itinerary book, huh?
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is old school. This almost looks like grandma's book that you would have.
Hilarious.
What the heck?
Now,
yeah, Sydney in there, but can you believe that? How cool that I have that.
It's very cool. We're going to be having like show and tell throughout everything.
Oh yeah, we've got some things to share.
Yes.
I pulled things out of the vault. That music isn't the only thing coming out of the vault.
See, and that's what we need to talk about with that. But here, like your first thing that had exposure, we'll get into your flash dance thing and that hair.
Yeah.
But we got a Debbie Gibson Shake Your Love vinyl.
Oh, whoa.
Video that you were in.
Oh my gosh, that was my very first professional dance job. 16 years old. Debbie Gibson, Shake Your Love. Yeah.
And so the hair in that video.
So what happened is I was always that girl who was dancing around the house as a little kid, like so many little girls do, right? And then I saw a movie called Flashdance. Do we remember Flashdance from back in the day? And that's when I realized that you could actually do the dance thing outside of your backyard. You could do it for real. And I was so inspired by Jennifer Beals that I literally got a perm. My parents let me get a big old perm. Gosh, I must have been 12 or 13. I got really kinky curly hair, got a big perm, bought a bunch of sweatshirts, cut them all off, pulled it off the shoulder, bought the 12-pack of leg warmers, put them up over the jeans, over the clogs, wore them every day.
Hilarious.
And yeah, so that was that. And I carried that perm, I think, quite a few years, because it was what, the in 80s, 90s. Yeah. So I had the big old hair, and you can see it a little bit in that Debbie Gibson video.
Between tonight and through the weekend, every video that we talk about, we're going to be posting. You know, we have stuff to get through because I did the research. I already had it. I had it on old video cassettes. So some of this stuff wasn't circulating, but we made sure to put online, just like
I did a lot of music videos. I was the queen of music videos. So we'll see what you pulled out of the archives. By the way, speaking of big hair, I had the biggest hair in Prince. Oh my gosh, the biggest hair of all time.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
you were somewhat, at that time, to me, what would be called like a video vixen.
Yeah,
you know, the guy video.
Do me right.
Right?
That's an awesome video. You guys have to YouTube that one.
Your outfit in it and the face and everything very colorful.
Yeah, I had this like scuba headdress on, and it was just all my eyes.
And it's just, and then you did work with another group, maybe not videos, but the Pet Shop Boys.
Pet Shop Boys was my first professional tour overseas. No videos.
Right.
I did all the songs with them. They were great. That was a blast.
And then another one that I saw after Get Off, although it was a huge hit of 1991, Passion.
Oh my gosh. Passion got me in a jam again.
I mean, and you had different outfits in that video. They made sure that they got a slow-mo twirl of you going on.
Oh yeah. I had some good moments in Passion.
And it's like
that song was a hit for about a second, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was a
number 3.
One-hit wonder. Did it get to number 3?
Yeah.
Yep.
I paid attention to all the stuff, and then here it was. Get Off is climbing. Then Cream is climbing.
You have my Yanni video. Did you pull out the Yanni video?
We have that. I didn't have Yanni vinyl though, so, but we will have that one. That's another thing.
Tommy Page.
For it wasn't the main hit though, was it? Wasn't One More Try, right?
No, it was the other one.
Oh, that's Timmy T. Excuse me.
No, Tommy Page. What was the song? I've got a zillion kisses for you, more and more and more.
See, I'm gonna have to pull that out probably.
Yeah, these are classics, people. Classics.
For real, and big hair. People were talking about the big hair on it. So here it was.
Big hair, don't care. I know.
And it's like, I know that like here, because some of the notes that I did, like we have Cream was May 25th, 1991, but it was a little bit before we guys did auditions. And then I have somewhere else the choreographer. It was a male, I believe, that worked on your guys for that video. But May 20th, yeah, that's it, Mr. Cheeseman. So here it was.
Is that the for real legit Cream guitar that you're sitting in front of? It isn't.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay, that would be pretty pricey, right?
Right. The guy from the Colts, I think he thinks he has that one, but he has a version of it. But no. Okay. But I had to pull this out for you. I have different colors, but come on.
I mean,
so here it is, because I know the twins told me this, the actual twins that were later in his career. Yeah. But so you guys go on this audition. Right. Right. And then it's like,
I did do the Super Bowl though. Gosh dang it. That Super Bowl performance was stellar.
Wasn't there talks in 1992 of you guys, of him like being the headliner for the Olympics? I thought there was certain talk of that in Australia.
Oh my gosh. We did not get wind of that. That would have been tremendous.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you have the video, so here it is. He's not on the video set. Obviously, they're taking video of you guys and they show it back to him. And then he basically goes, okay, I want her and her. And I know it's supposed to be like this whole, he was wanting a twins thing, but didn't have it. But supposedly, although not to you guys, to him and to others, you looked alike. So they're like going to have you in the twin role. Is that right?
That is right. He was just hiring for dancers. I was a dancer in LA, got a call for a music video for Prince, one of tons of dancers going in because he wanted a lot of dancers for the Cream video. Went in and auditioned. And then I heard later that, he saw me and liked me right away because, as we know, Prince has a type and I fit the mold of what he likes. So he told me that, he was pretty set on that from the beginning. But then we got a call from our agent that he also wanted twins in addition to the dancers. And so this other gal, Lori Diamond, and I happen to look a lot alike. We've known each other. It's a small world, the dance world. So of course we knew each other. We'd done other jobs together previously. And so we get on the phone with each other and we're like, gosh, these twins role, I don't know. They wanted us to dress alike and really look like twins. And we thought that would be the lesser role. So we kind of sabotaged it. We did not go in looking like twins. We just went into the callback. We wound up getting the twins, and who would have known that that was the job to get. And it was at the first day of rehearsal that we had so much chemistry, the three of us, that I think that's when Prince actually sort of got the download that he would name us Diamond and Pearl. And what was supposed to be one music video turned into all the music videos and the album cover and the world tour, and about a year and a half. So it was a pretty extraordinary turn of events.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, because you guys thought there was supposed to be like a lead girl and you guys were going to be the side ones. You're like, oh, we want to be the dancers. But he decided not to do a lead girl and went with both of you to be the main people for it.
Yes, we did not know we would be like the girls, you know, and then we'd be named Diamond and Pearl. So it was good.
And that's just crazy because it's like you guys knew each other from other shoots. I was dating like a model at the time that this was happening in
1990. Who is that?
But she did a lot of Japanese videos with you guys.
Yeah. Oh, she knew us?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess she'd be like the blonde between you guys, and you guys would like be the bookends or whatnot.
Oh my gosh. You'll have to tell me what that is later and share a picture.
Now here is the trick. Well, she doesn't look at that anymore, but no disrespect. I'm not even gonna bring her name. But here's something else that I saw in 1989. You and Lori were in a video together with an artist that Prince had his eye on called Karakor O Kali Mohurahi. I know I'm probably butchering that if you guys get it right in there, but it was a video called Dreamer that you guys shot in 1989. You guys were on microphones. I have the video. We'll post it for you.
Oh my God. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I literally have no recollection of what you're saying.
Right. I need to like pull it up on something, but
Please, let me see what you're talking about. Who is it? Is that a Japanese, like, what's that name?
Yes. The name again. And he worked with it. He made 2 songs for her called Mind Bells and Bliss. And he met with her after that video because he was shooting Party Man Next Door in 1989.
I literally don't know what you're talking about.
It's Kahor O Kari Mahari.
And can you believe I don't remember that? What's wrong with me? And so Lori and I were both in it, and we were like the backup singers, sort of, you know.
You guys are in the microphones behind her.
Oh, it's women?
You're gonna post it, but yeah.
You have not sent this to me. I literally don't even recall.
You are in the main front, and Lori is behind you. We're going to post the video later. As soon as this is over, I will email it to you as well with these links.
I was in the front, Lori was in the back, unlike the album cover where I got gypped in the back.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I got gypped in that one.
So,
But Prince made it up to me because I was a little bit like, real, thanks for that. And then all of a sudden he was like, hey, come in here. Let me show you something, like in his Prince, you know, and then he showed me that.
Yes.
So he was like, oh, see, just you on the album cover. So I was like, okay, thanks. I got the single. Not as good as the album cover.
See, I figured you would use that version, so I have the UK version instead.
Oh, cool.
Okay. But
and then I even turned it, when I did some fan stuff, I even turned it into an 8x10, so I would sign it for people. Yeah, that's right.
And by the way, so that's not Randy, because that was shot by Roberta Blake, but the photo for the team, that's Kevin Mazur. So
oh God, you know what? I didn't even know that.
He's a friend of the show, and like he's this huge photographer right now, but Prince was loving his work back then.
Well, how could you not? It was fantastic.
Right?
Because I got gypped on this one. That's the
right. So
as we know, that's the hologram. Look, pretend it's a hologram. But who's that in the back with a cigarette? Oh, you can barely even tell. Oh, it's me. Oh, look, there I go. Can you believe? I cannot believe Prince let me have a cigarette on that album cover.
It is such a trip because like I wanted to know because I saw you do an interview with Hard Copy back then. And
And I had a cigarette because back then I
Right.
did always have a cigarette. I was a chain smoker, thank
And I
God.
just was like, is this part of show? Because the way they were holding it, it looks like a Virginia Slim. It's one of the long
Probably
ones.
was. It probably, I smoked them all. But yeah, I was a big smoker back in the day. And it kind of went a little bit with the Prince vibe. I was sort of that edgy, the edgy twin. But he hated cigarettes. I mean, he hated cigarettes. And the fact that he would actually let me on the album cover be holding a cigarette and smoking, I don't know what he was thinking with that, but
It's just craziness. And then it turned into other stuff. And like I said, you do these interviews and we'll get into that. But like the Cream video, that was shot in LA. You had City Hall, May 25th, 26th, 1991. Then a week later, you guys were doing Diamonds and Pearls from May 31st to early part of June. And you did, I think, some pickup scenes that were added on for the long version of Cream.
Okay, wait, did we do Get Off? See, now you're going to know this better than I. I thought we actually got hired for Cream first, but Get Off, we filmed Get Off first.
Get Off was the end of July, 1991. So a few months prior. Sorry, my brain works different.
It was prior to Cream?
Cream was first, and Get Off was late July with Randy at Paisley, and then you Get Off House Style at the Galpin Road address.
Yeah, that was fun.
So we're going to talk
about. I pulled out some memorabilia. Speaking of Cream, yes. I dug into the vault. And do you remember what I was wearing in the Cream video? It's like the best outfit with all bejeweled, right? And these little hot pants.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
I got the hot pants. It's the only thing I have from my wardrobe.
What happened to the top?
I didn't get the top. Oh my gosh, the top was amazing. But they're mine. Look, it says Robia. Just like I'm a little kid with Robia written in my undies.
Hilarious.
So this is all I have 30 plus years later, and I can still fit into them.
Did Stasia Lang design those for you?
No, these were, this was a brand named Van Buren. I don't know if they're around anymore, but they were kind of big at the time, Van Buren. Yeah. But I think our corsets were designed. I don't think those were just, I don't know if it was his team, but his team was incredible. The wardrobe team was just like, look at him, his wardrobe was just off the charts, but they actually didn't make things for us too much. We mostly shopped. And so when we were doing all the press for the album, because at that time he was in a self-imposed silence. So we actually did some mock interviews and sort of trained to go on the road, take it on the road and do all the press. And we did a lot of press, but they would just call us and we had a little budget, to shop, and we'd find out, oh, you're doing hard copy, you're doing Howard Stern, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing Joan Rivers. And so Lori and I would go run out, we'd shop, we'd get our little outfits, and we kind of did our own thing. We did our own clothes.
The Joan Rivers thing with Robin Power of Why Women Love Prince. Such an interesting episode, and thank God, I'm sure he somewhere is just like, oh God, but just such an interesting show, an interesting interview, I must say, with the Joan Rivers one. And I saw interviews that you guys did in Japan and Australia.
Yeah, I loved that Australian talk show. That was a cool one.
And that's when you guys originally talked about why he named you Diamond and Pearl and came up with it. And you were kind of a little bit upset of why he came up with Pearl for you. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember why?
Upset about it?
I'm sorry?
Did I seem upset about it?
At the time you said that Pearl, because it was described, and I wanted you to see if you remember this, that he named you Pearl because it's like a clam, tough exterior, hard to pry open, but when you do, it's a beautiful thing inside. I like that.
I like that too. I don't know why I had a problem with
You're like, oh, diamond, yours is so much better. And I'm like, no, I like yours, Robia.
Well, a diamond is more valuable. It's kind of like the better of the stone. If I had to pick one of the stones, I would choose a diamond. But I do think we were aptly named, so I think that was good.
Right.
Yes.
Now, when we talk about the videos, so we have Cream, huge video. You have Get Off, the whole tribute to Caligula. And at that time, so scandalous, there had to be 4 different versions, and that BET wasn't even playing it, so they were using the house style version instead.
Can we talk about my husband? And I just played the video for him in the last week since all this has stirred. He's seen the video. Obviously, I've been with him, married for a long time, but we just rewatched it. And the first thing he said was, "Oh my gosh, this video is so clean. It's like so wholesome." And it really is. At the time, it was crazy. But if you look at videos today, that video was actually pretty clean.
Yes. I mean, this is the time, yeah, Bob Guccione, like so proud, like, oh yeah, it's a tribute to Caligula, all these different things. And at that time,
Thanks,
the video
Yana.
was,
Yana, I think it's Yana. I love your little comment. Appreciate you. Okay, keep going.
no, it's just, so here it is. You're filming at Paisley for Get Off. You're also filming at the Galpin Road address for House Style and a few other things. Wasn't there a story where you talked about how, you know, even when you were flying on a plane, Prince wanted you guys to be dressed up all the time?
Totally.
And then because he would be princed out all later in life, he wasn't as much.
He
But
was princed out 24/7. I spent a lot of time with him. You know, Lori and I would be at his house, like hanging out. And I would always give him a hard time. I'd be like, when do I see the Prince sweatpants? You know, when do I see the rhinestone sweatpants, the stirrup sweatpants, or like the, you know, the off the shoulder Flashdance Prince t-shirt? Like, when do I see this?
right.
And he said, never, you know, you're never going to see that. That's not who I am. And I was always like a jeans and t-shirt kind of gal. Like, I'm pretty cash. And especially when you're going to be on an airplane for 16 hours, you know, I'm kind of chill. Like, I'm looking cute, but like casual cute. You know, my counterpart was a little bit more, you know, so she would come a little bit more done up. And a lot of the Prince girls, the posse,
Right.
You know, Carmen Electra was always Carmen Electra. Like, she was always looking like Carmen, you know, and Prince liked that.
Sure.
Liked the lashes and the hair and the thing and the, you know, you're getting on that plane at 6 a.m., but you got the mini skirt on and you're ready to roll, you know? And
Right.
so that was not me. But Prince and I had a great banter. We really had a good friendship. And I think he appreciated that I kind of gave him a hard time a little bit. And I kind of like was sassy with him, and we had a little bit of a banter. I kind of wasn't scared of him. So I think he liked that, you know, like I gave him a hard time, and then he would give me a hard time. So there were times on tour where I would get sent home. Like, I would show up somewhere, and then the manager, the tour manager, would come up and he's like, you got to go change. Like, you can't, you got to go get it together. And so I'd have to go back to the hotel and like whoop it up a little bit. But yeah, he really liked us, always put together. So can I tell you a funny story?
Absolutely.
All right. So this is a funny story. So I'm giving Prince a hard time. When am I going to see you in the sweats? You know, he's like, it's never going to happen. Right. So Lori and we had done something. I don't remember. Maybe we shot a video, or maybe we just like went out to a club and hung out. But we went back to his house, and I think it was in Bel Air at the time. He had a lot of different houses that he would own or rent or whatever. And so he had a place in Bel Air. And even if he rented a place, it was always princed out. Like, if, you know, even if it wasn't his house, like when you walked in, like they had always princed it out. So everything was like furry rugs, and like every lamp had like a sheer, you know, colorful drape over it. So the atmosphere was like, right, you know, and there would of course be like a huge, beautiful grand piano in the main foyer entry area, living room. So we're there one night, and it's kind of late. It's maybe like, I don't know, like 11ish or midnight or something. And the cook is there, and she's like making us food in the kitchen at like midnight, you know, and we're just hanging out. And Prince is like playing a little bit on the piano, and just sits down to just like hang out and play on the piano. And you're just like blown away that you can't believe that he's just riffing and just doing something ridiculous and incredible. So Lori and I are looking at each other like, can you believe that we're experiencing this right now? This is so incredible. So we're hanging out. And then Prince, he's in his full, you know, it's 1 a.m. He's in his full outfit, the red suit, the shoulder pads, the gold buttons, the red stirrup pants, the red high heel boots, the cane, the thing, the hair, the bandana, the deal, right? So he goes, okay, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go upstairs, you know, change, get a little more comfortable. And I went, it's going to happen. This is the moment I've been waiting for. So he up the stairs, he's gone. Laura and I are just chatting, whatever, talking a little bit. Some time passes, 15 minutes, whatever. And then all of a sudden, you kind of sense when Prince is like in or out of the room. So you just kind of feel his aura come in. So it was like, you know, I look up to the top of the stairs. There he is. Mm-hmm. He's in the same exact outfit in blue. Same exact outfit in blue. The blue jacket, the blue stirrup pants, the blue high heels. And so that was his casual at home 1 a.m. version. So there you have it.
See, later in life.
Isn't that story awesome?
Yes. I mean, that's something more comfortable. And you're like, he totally played you. That would just be
He
like
totally played me.
Later in life, though, he would be a little bit more cash. He would like, the whole Jimmy Fallon thing. Like basically, he whipped my butt at ping pong in flip flops and white socks.
When I heard that story, like if you're an insider and you do have the privilege, like I've had, to be around him and to know him, that story from Jimmy Fallon kills me. It is so accurate, with the ping pong. You ready to do this thing? I mean, that's so him. The whole, like, you just get a phone call with like no information. Like you would just get a phone call. Like his bodyguard would be like, hold for Prince. And then Prince would be on it. It'd be like, 11 o'clock, and then he'd hang up. It was like always like Batman, like you're dealing with, like, you just don't even know what's going on, right? So that story is so accurate. And the fact that Jimmy bent down to get the ball and he came up and Prince had just disappeared, he was gone like a puff of smoke. Like,
it's so true, though.
It's so him. He was so mysterious. That was always like, even as you would get to know him, and I did get to know him and just have conversations and hang out, that was just part of his persona. He just had that mystery thing about him, and he would be casual, but he was always still like superstarish,
Right.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And like with the interviews that you guys did, you did one with his fan magazine, Controversy, at the time.
Oh yeah.
And that was decent with it.
Controversy.
See, all right. See, you're prepared. You go through it because some of this stuff isn't online. So
no, this is my collection. I told you I went into the vault. Like I don't have a ton of stuff, but I have a handful of things. And this was one that I had in my collection. Look, that's him Get Off, like being Prince. Like, oh my gosh, look at him. And then, I love this. That's like one of my favorite photos ever with Prince.
Right. We have a larger one of that, I think, in a different magazine.
Gosh, I love that. I love that whole photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing that's interesting is at the time you were talking about, let's see here.
Hold on. I got to put some air conditioning on. It's so hot in here. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourself. I'll give you a subject. Diamonds and pearls. Go on with that. Dance sequences.
Okay, I'm back.
So it's like it talks about like the videos that you were doing at the time. So here it is at the time. I have no idea. There's still a lot left to do on the album. There's been 4 videos so far. So at that time, we had Cream, and we're not going to talk about Get Off, House Star, whatever. It's going to be separate. So you had Cream, Diamonds, and Pearls. You didn't film Sexy MF till March of '92. So there's got to be some unreleased videos. Are we talking about Walk Don't Walk and Daddy Pop? Were you guys in those videos? Because I know they were made. No?
No.
All right.
I don't think we actually filmed Sexy MF either. I think that was footage from other things that he just popped in.
Right. Because it did seem kind of like, as I was talking about it with someone else earlier, that, you guys weren't in the garage where that's filmed. And all of a sudden there's video footage of you guys supposedly in a hotel room with Prince and him with the gun mic. So yeah, so it's like as you were right, he used that footage for it, but it may have been from something else.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are credited on it. Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering,
Strolling. Do you have the Strolling video?
Yes, I found that on Daily Motion and some other stuff.
Sometimes that's a sweet video. I like that. It's cute.
And Lori directed that from the.
Lori directed it. Yeah, she always had a real desire to, be on that creative end of things. So.
Right.
We let her do that, and she did a great job.
So unreleased videos, there's got to be more, but okay, there's a song.
There's not more. So sad about that.
See, I teased it a few days ago, but no one said, I see what you did there. I teased it. We're about 51 hours away.
51 hours. You were my slave.
All right. So talk about 51 hours and how that came to be, because that's you guys on the track, right?
It is. Again, I didn't really have those kind of ambitions. Like Lori wanted to be a singer. She wanted to direct. She wanted to do all that. I didn't really want to do any of that. I was just sort of happy to be doing what I was doing. So I think there were times where she just really proposed ideas to him or, kind of tried to push that. And so it worked, it happened. So I think she really wanted to do that. And I remember, gosh, where were we? I think we were at Paisley Park, and he had his apartment inside Paisley Park, or like his, one of the places. He didn't live there, but he had like a den in Paisley. So there were times we'd be around, and then I would get like beckoned into the room, and so I'd go in. Was she with me? I don't remember exactly. I mean, this was a long time ago. But I remember him saying, you guys are going to do this track. And I knew that she was going to do more of it, because she was like rapping or something. Like she wanted to rap. I was like, I'm not a rapper. I'm not going to rap.
Wow.
So yeah, and so we did it. And we went in. I remember going into the soundstage and doing it. And that was that. 51 hours.
So nothing else that, but you were
my slave.
I mean, and that vinyl is so hard to like track down. By the way, someone point out Damon may be in the room. As soon as we mentioned the Strolling video, who was your co-star in the Strolling video at the diner, Damon Dixon. If you're here, dude, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, that would be great.
That's what someone said, but
I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen the guys. I haven't seen Lori.
We got to change that. We don't know, like, and there's Tia's comments, of course. Love it. And it's just like, because you guys were all over videos. Like you'd have this within an hour of MTV, you were there. And then here's Lori. She was in the Rhythm Nation video dancing behind Jan Jackson.
She was incredible in that.
You guys were everywhere. And it's like, of course you caught his eye, to have you guys in it. Now, just other stuff, like you've been inside. All right. So we know about 51 hours. Have you been inside the famous vault before?
Yes. Yep. So I remember, God, it's like, I was too young to even appreciate this stuff. I was like 19, 20 years old. You don't even realize like what's happening. I didn't understand the weightiness of it.
Right.
But I remember, for whatever reason, at one time, Prince was like, come on in, grab my hand, brought me in. And I just remember like these black cases, almost like an 8-track case, these black big cases. And it was just everywhere you could look. It was like a library. It just lined the walls. And it was artist after artist after artist, every genre you can think of. It was like Bonnie Raitt, rock and roll people, country people. Like it was just one after another. And he was like, yeah, these are all, songs I've done. And we didn't even talk about it too much. He didn't share too much with me. He just brought me in and let me see it.
Even at that time, even though he had about 25 more years to go, it probably was overwhelming the amount of stuff that he had in there that was not released.
It was, but it wasn't surprising, because all Prince was the music. That was him. It's all he wanted to do. It's all he was about. He just, he wanted to make music. And that's all he did. He wrote, he performed, he played all the instruments.
Designed clothes.
What's that?
Designed the clothes, everything.
He did. He did it all. Yeah.
It was just crazy. And then you have the tour, which, I was waiting until Prince would come back to the US. So I wanted to make sure that Prince was my first ever tour.
I was so bummed that we did not do the US. I was so bummed about that. And Prince was also my first ever tour. You might not know this, but I never had been to a concert. I'd never been to a concert until I was on stage with Prince in a concert, dancing in front of 60,000 people at a time. And the show was so extraordinary. It was so off the charts, And then afterwards, I just went to someone's concert, and I just thought, this isn't a concert? But that was my first experience with a show.
And it's just like, we're whatever. In the 80s or whatnot, you have When Doves Cry. You have the great video Kiss.
Loved Kiss.
So you know who directed Kiss, right?
No.
Roberta Blake, who directed your Cream video and Diamonds and Pearls.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. Yeah. I did know that. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's
it was fantastic. What an eye. I mean, that Cream video, I think is legendary. Like it's just so gorgeous.
I wish that he would have used her more, especially with Kiss and how the videos came out for you guys of Cream and Diamonds and Pearls. And even the stills of Diamonds and Pearls of the video of him on set. Just awesome. I have some of those I need to share over the next few days.
I was bummed about that video too. I was kind of like that wasn't more about us, since it was Diamonds and Pearls. And then there was like this other dancer girl just dancing through the scene. And I was like, who is this? Things would just happen. We wouldn't really get a memo about it. You just show up and then there's like this other girl like dancing around. And so we didn't know what was really happening there. But I loved our hair and makeup in that one. I thought
so maybe that's why the song got stuck at number 2 and never hit number 1. And Right Said Fred, I'm Too Sexy prevented you guys from hitting it. If there was more Diamond and Pearl in the video, it would have hit number 1.
Hello.
But again, Prince's last ever number 1 hit, you're on the cover of.
Was that his last number 1 hit?
Can you believe it? Because of him fighting the industry so hard with the name change and all that stuff.
Right.
He didn't have the machine behind him anymore.
Wow, I did not know that. I
All
didn't know.
Yeah. See, that was it. Diamonds and Pearls stuck at number 2, 7 being a top 10 hit. Most Beautiful Girl in the World stalling in the top 10 as well. Yeah, Cream is his last number 1 hit, which is just mind-boggling, And then you have this book, and I talked with Randy, as you know, and she said to send you her love.
Oh my gosh, send her my love. Okay, I pulled out something from Randy. Can I show you something from Randy?
Absolutely.
So Randy, incredible photographer, shot the album cover, shot a lot of different things with us. I think she shot this too. I think she did this whole thing. Yeah, she's incredible. So we also, we were all dressed up and everything. Oh, because she shot, hold on, let me find you something she shot. I wanted to, so this.
Yes, I love that shot.
Right? These were incredible. And those outfits we had were incredible. Did they do those for us or did we find those? But I love those. So that outfit was so amazing that I had to make the most of it. And we did some single shots. And she did this picture of me that I actually used for a while as a headshot as a dancer.
Wow.
How incredible is that picture? And wait, did I have a cigarette? Oh, no, I didn't have a cigarette in that. I did in some. But look at that. Look at the artistry, the way she draped that over my leg like that.
That's such an awesome shot because you guys would be like featured in Us magazine and other things just separately, you too. I wasn't able to track that down, although I have it.
I had that Us magazine somewhere, but they did the weirdest picture of us. They like blurred out the picture. So it was like, I don't know why they did that. When you do this incredible photo shoot, you feel like, wow, I look amazing. We're so excited. Us magazine is a big publication. And then they used this weird, like red filter, like they ruined it.
Yep. It was.
Do you have this one? Do you have Sky magazine?
I do, but please let's see it because it's hard. It's harder for me to track down the stuff where he's not on the cover or things like that.
1992, baby. Let's look and see. This was a pretty fun shoot and a good layout. Do y'all remember these vibes?
Right.
And then these vibes. I can't quite get
90s
to the look at that. Look at our outfits.
90s max. I mean, then you have a shot of you guys, like I think it's in Japan. I think it's on a train where you have that shot of you guys in Randy's book.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Where's that from?
Randy's book. We got to figure out a way. If you don't have a copy of it, we got to figure out a way.
I have to get a copy of it. Randy, please send me a copy.
So there's that YouTube.
Oh, that whole photo shoot. Yeah, that was an incredible photo shoot. I loved it.
She thanks you in the book, albeit got your last name.
Go back to that one on the train again. So let's see what we're wearing. I think I'm wearing like a leotard and jeans, right? Pull that out. I'm wearing jeans, so I'm getting in trouble because he hated jeans.
The look on his face. Probably.
I am the queen of jeans. Yeah, look, I'm wearing like a big old kind of rockery belt, a leotard, and some jeans. What's Lori wearing? Is she wearing like a mini skirt?
It's hard to tell. It's
can't really tell. But is she working some boobs in there? I think she's doing something where she's showing some stuff.
Right? You got to show off your jeans with Prince and him having that unapproving look behind you.
Oh my gosh, he hated the jeans.
So just with that stuff and all these other magazines, like There's photos of you with like a clothing thing, and we talked about this a little bit. What's hanging behind you?
I have that somewhere. I have some of those with the band.
Right.
Like on the street, kind of edgy with.
See how this?
Oh my gosh.
The sexy MF, and then.
Yes, all the red and black and white and black. It was like this box block fashion with red and black and white and black. Yep, that's pretty cool. I like that one more than the other one. Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I still like that one.
Even like in the corner of it, yeah, they had like to the back where you have the symbol.
Oh yeah, are those like leather pleathery sleeves?
No,
no.
But there is ones that I saw that are leather that could be.
We were wearing some leather. I know I have some of that. I just don't know where it is.
I mean, it's just interesting because there were so many ideas for you guys. And it's just like, you know, you're constantly working and doing this. So I know that there's projects that you guys were involved in that didn't come out. Like, is there anything that you can think of that you guys like that may have been talked about that didn't come to fruition? You're like, oh, yes, that'd be so amazing. I don't think you guys are able to do everything you wanted to do, even within a year's time with him.
Well, I mean, a U.S. tour. I would have loved to do a U.S. tour. I would have loved to tour longer. We were only on tour for 4 months, 5 months.
Right.
It was incredible everywhere we went, but I would have, it was so good. I could have done a year on tour. Easy.
And you had so many shows pro shot, not only what's going to be coming out on the Diamonds Pearl set, but you had like Japan was pro shot. Australia, a few shows from there were pro shot. UK shows were pro shot.
Where's all this footage? I've never seen all the footage.
In the vault, there's some that have made its way online, but there's just other stuff, just like the Japanese shows, especially one from Glam Slam Yokohama. There's footage from you guys that ended up on the 3 Chains of Gold video at the beginning, and then he used you in the Continental video.
I might not even know that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to send me some things. I bet you have more things with me and Diamond and Pearl than I do.
I mean, just like when I was working as a bagger at Lucky Groceries and Get Off was just coming out, everyone was talking about the video. Everyone was talking about the MTV performance, the butt out pants. And then there was this beautiful woman in line and she's talking about, oh, like, oh, I was in the video. I'm like, oh, Get Off. She's like, no, it's one that we shot a few months ago. I'm like, a few months ago. And like, she's, yeah, Cream. And again, this is before Cream came out because Cream was the first one, although.
Did you get her name?
No. It's just like, I didn't believe her at first because everyone is going to say they're an apprentice.
Right. There were so many dancers. I'm sure she was one. If she was a beautiful woman in line, I bet she was one of the dancers.
I mean, they had very interesting outfits in the videos, just like you guys, and especially in the Cream video. But it's just like, here it is, you have the Cream video, and then all of a sudden, here it is, Get Off is how we were introduced to you. Even though you guys did that first, I'm Diamond and this is Pearl. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And even you kind of like played with that on the hard copy interview where you're like, Pearl, like you didn't like that name. It's just funny. But that was like your introduction to the world.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then,
that's right, actually, because we had filmed Cream, and then he decided we were, you know, it was in that process that we were going to be Diamond and Pearl. And then we shot Get Off, and then we went back, I think, and then did that little clip at the beginning because he decided, now this is how I'm going to introduce you. Yeah.
And it's just crazy because like he was already like recording the song Diamonds and Pearls in like October, November 1990. He was already ready for Diamonds and Pearls. Mm-hmm. In fact, he even talked about it in that interview. Even though it was January, February of 1992, he was already done with the Symbol album and was already ready to go with that. Mm-hmm. But he still had the other songs that he was trying to put out of Daddy Pop and Walk Don't Walk, which is supposed to be released that summer, but then he moved Sexy MF there. Just craziness. But that didn't stop for you because you had this one boy from Minnesota that was into you and putting you in his videos. Then you had another boy from Minnesota all about you named Brandon Walsh.
Yeah.
How to put that in. That was such a great surprise to see on that show because having girls force you to watch that, I was like, hey, there's Pearl, there's Robia.
So that happened right after I basically got off tour with Prince and wrapped up the Diamonds and Pearls album. Mm-hmm. And I retired from dance at that point because I thought I had reached the pinnacle. I mean, doing the Prince stuff, there's really nowhere else to go from there.
Right.
And so I think I was 20 and I retired from my professional dance career.
Wow.
Got really into acting, and I went after acting with the same vengeance as a dancer. You know, as a dancer, you don't go to one class a week. You train 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. So I kind of switched that into acting, and I was just at the acting studio learning, started going on auditions. And I remember going on that Beverly Hills 90210 audition, and I just had such a good audition. Like, I just walked out and I was like, dang, I really nailed that. And then I thought, oh, I might actually get that job. Because at this point, I was just auditioning, kind of trying to practice, because this was brand new, you know? And then I just remember walking out kind of scared, like, oh, because I wasn't even thinking about getting a job. I was thinking of just trying to like get through an audition and do something good. And I thought, oh, I might get this. And then they called and I got it. And I remember my agent at the time, I think it was the casting director, called my agent because they knew I was the Prince girl. And they said, she better not be a diva. Like, she better not bring her Prince diva stuff on set. And I just laughed. I was like, oh my gosh, they don't know me at all. Like, that is so not who I am, right? So I come on set, of course, with my jeans and my t-shirt, my cigarette, my like rock and roll boots. And I remember Luke Perry was like, dang girl, those boots. I'm like, I know, it's all good, you know? So I loved Luke. He was awesome. And then Jason and I just totally connected. I adored him. And there I was really bummed that I didn't get more episodes because they were talking about building my character up. And then I think they wound up going with that teacher, that older school teacher, because it was a little bit more like him with the older woman or something. But I was so bummed about that. And I turned 21 on set. I remember going to set, and it was my birthday. It was my first acting job, and I was so nervous, but I was really excited, and I loved working with Jason Priestley, and, you know, all the fun stuff you do as an actor. You're like cuddling and kissing and doing stuff. It was like, it's so fun when you're, you know, 21. But yeah, that was a blast. That was a blast. And then Buffy, yeah, someone's like, wasn't she on Buffy? Yep. And then it was a few years later that Buffy happened. And Buffy was kind of cool because it was very much like the Prince situation. Mm-hmm. When I got hired for Buffy, the show had not been on the air. It was the end of the first season, so it hadn't aired yet. I remember getting the script and thinking, like, oh my gosh, this script is so good. It's so well written, and I love my character. It was just so bantery and funny. So again, I went in, had a good audition for that, got that. I remember going to set and like seeing all the actors playing the roles and just thinking like, wow, they have something here, because every actor was so well cast. The acting was so good. The writing was so good. And I was supposed to do just that one episode. And they liked the chemistry with me and Anthony Head, Giles. And so I kept coming back. And just like Prince, it was supposed to be one music video, and it was a year and a half. Buffy was supposed to be one episode, and it turned into 3 seasons. So that was cool.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
There's this, because we're going to talk about your book being online, but someone says they want a signed copy of Robia's headshot.
Yeah, I don't do that too much anymore. I don't know where I would even, do that.
I'm sure we can have someone help you out with that or tell us where to go.
Yeah, actually, sometimes I work with someone through Buffy, and I do a little bit of signed photos. So maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll, with all this Prince stuff coming out, I'll work out something to do like a Buffy Prince whole thing, and then maybe we'll do a signing if people would want to do that.
Of course they would be, and then we can find a way to get you a little bit of money for that. But so here it is, retired at 20 after doing the Diamonds and Pearls tour, which kicked off in Japan, and as we talked about, Australia and UK. Now, I think this is what he talked about for the Japan crowd, how polite they were. That was the one where they put all the tambourines on the seats, the first few rows, and they all put it back, and they would clap in unison. Is that stuff that you like kind of like remember from?
I do not remember that.
Okay.
I'd get a kick out of that now, but I don't think I was paying attention then.
See, that's why we need some of these videos to come on the vault. So here it is, the January 1992 quote unquote dress rehearsal show that's going to be on the Diamonds and Pearls set. That was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was Maite's first performance because she just, you know, I don't believe it was turned 18 or whatnot, but that wouldn't be, but it was her first performance with it at that Glam Slam show. And let me tell you, that show was freaking fire, especially for a dress rehearsal show. Yeah. Club and seeing Prince on top of the bar. Like, I can't wait for you to see it again. And then Scott McCullough is the person that directed it. And I love, you know, we're going to be.
I have not seen any of that kind of footage. I mean, I haven't really seen anything from the tour except hazy things online that are like far away, like barely anything. I remember being super excited when those pictures came out from the tour when we're on the bed, the floating bed over the stage, and we're in those cool green uniform like outfits.
Yes.
Like, I love those. Those were so beautiful. And that whole thing with the bed, like going over the audience and everything. You're going to pull out that picture. I was super excited about that, but I've never seen really any tour footage of us dancing. I've never seen any.
There's that shot again. I'm going to get the bed shot while you're.
Yeah.
So now we know you haven't been.
I need to see. I don't even remember the show you're talking about. We were just rehearsing, and we were in Minneapolis.
Yeah, it was a show, and it was recorded. Scott McCullough directed it. It's gonna be on the Diamonds and Pearls set.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get that. Yeah, I love that shoot.
So,
Randy, reach out to me. We need to touch base. So I just looked her up because I haven't connected with her in so long. I just looked at her Instagram and all the superstars that she's photographed.
And they have a Diamonds and Pearls room at Paisley Park, and they do show video footage from there, from the tour, pro shot. So we need to find a way to get you to Minnesota.
Yeah, that shoot. I remember that one. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I do have the bed shots. We'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, we need to get you to Paisley. Like I said, I'd love the estate to work with you and have you be interviewed by someone like Andrea Swenson.
Yeah, it would be incredible. I don't see why not. I have a lot of memories, a lot of inside scoop.
Right. For sure. Now let's talk about some other things while I look for the bed shot, which I think yep. There's the bed shot one.
Yeah, that's a pretty picture. I like that picture.
All of you guys, and just little invitations that you guys would have around that time for other events that were going on. But yes, what else have you not shown us yet before we get into your book?
I don't know if I think that might be kind of what I have for the collection here.
Okay.
I mean, we did this, right? We both have the world tour.
Yes.
So we have that, the controversy. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I pulled out.
Right.
This little Polaroid from Cream. I mean, look at that. Remember that shot.
Is that one I see he wants some of yours, not some of mine.
Exactly.
See. Yep. And we have little Diamonds and Pearls one. That one you can see a little bit more, but of course, with the cigarette, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll keep showing the Cream one instead. But talk about, because I purchased it earlier today, your book. That's available online at your website, which we already have on the intro to it. There's a link to the website.
So, a little bit of backstory, taking it in a different direction. So, all the time I was working with Prince and I was on stage and just looking, very confident and very comfortable and very glamorous. Even though life was great, I was very happy with all the things I was doing. There was some internal struggle going on. And I, like most women, was struggling with food and body image issues, even though you would not know it by looking at me. I always was thin and I have never been overweight. I'm still a thin person. But back in the day, there was just a lot of pressure, I think, for women in general. And then especially when you're a dancer and an actress, it just exacerbates the issue. And so I was just in that real place of being consumed with what I was going to eat, what I wasn't going to eat, and body and weight and all of that stuff. And just really kind of looking for answers about how to get free from that stuff. So long story short, through a long series of events, I was just seeking faith and God and truth and wisdom and answers. And I wound up, I have so many stories I could share, but just real simply where the book came from is kind of having a divine moment of really sort of crying out, how do I get free from this food issue? My life is so good in so many areas, but I hate this. I hate that I'm in bondage to this. And then all of a sudden I just sort of had a thought that I'd never thought before. And I really feel like it was like a divine, from heaven type of thought. And God, didn't speak to me in an audible voice. It wasn't like a booming, thus saith the Lord, I am here, my child, look up, it wasn't that. But I just heard kind of in my inner self, food is not your problem. And I thought, well, gosh, it sure seems like my problem. And a little dialogue started to happen. It was like, no, food is really just a counterfeit comfort. It's a symptom of your problem. It's a symptom. It's like the fruit of an unhealthy root. Right. And so I was like, what does all that mean? What do you mean it's a symptom? what is a counterfeit comfort? And so I realized that, food wasn't really the issue. The issue was I was looking to food or cigarettes or whatever it is that we turn to, whatever counterfeit, alcohol, cigarettes, fame, success, cars, to deal with things I didn't know how to deal with. The feelings you're not dealing with are dealing with you. So I didn't know how to deal with certain things that we all go through: fear, anxiety, insecurity, being uncomfortable in your skin. So I was turning to food, to be my comforter. And it's a counterfeit. Food isn't meant to be a comforter, but they do call it comfort food because it can be pretty dang comforting. But before you know it, that comfort can kind of turn into a hook and an addiction. So I went through this whole process of healing, this really incredible transformative process of learning how to connect with who I am, connect with, have a spiritual connection, heal some of those places in me that were driving me that I couldn't stop. And realizing that, healing food has nothing to do from the outside in. It's not about finding the right diet or doing the right exercise or eating the carbs or not the carbs or the this, or it's really not about that. It's about dealing with the roots. And when you deal with the roots and you heal the roots, you produce different fruits. So long story short, I went through a huge transformation, a huge healing. And then I started teaching people about it because it was so tremendous. And so my book, Counterfeit Comforts, is about how to get free from those counterfeits that keep you in bondage. So that can be found on Amazon. It can be found on my website, which is just simply my name, robiascott.com. You can purchase that if you want. I'll send you a signed copy if you go to my website. Obviously, I can't sign it from Amazon, but you can get one there. It's also on Audible, and I'm reading it, so it's my voice if you want to check that out. But I also have a free little gift for y'all. It's like a booklet that I wrote, and it's this: 3 reasons you can't stop obsessing about food and body image. Because I was this girl. Are you that girl? Are you her? So this is just a free little booklet. It's kind of like a teaser. And so if you want that gift from me, you can go to stopobsession.com. And you can just download it right there, stopobsession.com. You can download that. And then you can get a little bit more. I mean, I could talk about this forever because this is really my passion topic. I love to talk about seeing people get free and healed and come more into your purpose, and something I call regain the domain of your brain. So you're not thinking about food all the time. Like, what could you do? What could you create? How present could you be in your life? How could you be walking in purpose if you weren't consumed with alcohol, food, addiction, blah, 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 blah. So that's really my passion, and you'll get a sense of that in this booklet. So stopobsession.com, you can get that. And then my book right here, Counterfeit Comforts, you can get, that's a full book, a published book that you can get on Amazon, or you can go to my website and also
go to our website and get it. And that's where I ordered it from today, and yes, you can sign it, do whatever you want with it. I appreciate it, but that's where we want to go and support it, because a lot of people are having this battle, especially in the US, with the quality of food just being so low and whatnot. And it's just silently killing us,
So everything we've gone through in this world, I mean, especially since COVID and the pressure and, oh my gosh, the alcohol consumption purchase rates went off the charts during COVID. I remember walking into the grocery store and having a lot of the shelves stocked, and they were fine. And I walked into the ice cream section and it was barren. And I went, dang, I know my stuff. Counterfeit Comforts. Come on, y'all. There's no ice cream in that freezer because everyone's scared and by themselves and alone. So all that to say, if this is something you're going through and this has been a hook in your life, and you find that you're successful in other areas of your life, but there's this one area that you just can't break through, that's what I do now. That's really my life's purpose. And I've been doing it for many, many, many years. And I have an awesome track record of helping people really get free. I have a gift to do it. And it's totally different than anything you've ever experienced. It's not like some diet. There's lots of ways that you can lose weight. There's plenty of diets out there and you can lose some pounds. But what you don't lose is the mental obsession and being consumed. Being on a strict diet and losing 10 pounds is not freedom. I like freedom, like getting into the whole free body, soul, and spirit. So there you go. Will I sign my book? Yeah. If you order it from my website and you let me know your name, I will send you a signed copy.
Right. Definitely just want to make sure to put that out, even though we said it. So make sure people go to your website and buy it and pay a little bit extra or whatnot, have you sign it and do that other stuff. Retired at 20 from dancing, doing the acting stuff, and now the book. And I know spirituality is very important to you as well, which I obviously think that's what also led to your journey of Counterfeit Comforts. But, you know, we can talk about that as well, because I know that's where your PASSION is now. Sorry, I had to bring it full circle.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, do you want a story about that? Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, whatever you want. Like, right. I just find it funny when the Get Off video, by the way, because you were worried about the cameraman being right behind your butt or whatever and showing that. You're like, that was a sensitive part. But the PSSION video, they do like a small little twirl of you and make sure.
Exactly the shot you're talking about. Exactly.
And I'm like,
Yeah. I have to say, though, I've always leaned a little bit more conservative. Now, keep in mind, I was a professional dancer. And dancing is about sexuality. So I'm not like, you know, I wasn't like a school marm with my like 1890 peasant blouse, like buttoned up to here, you know. But like, even if you look at some of the stuff of me and Lori, like when we were out and about, like I was always like more covered. It was kind of who I am. Like she was more, you know, not that she was risque, because she was very elegant and beautiful. But I was just always kind of conservative. I would say my most racy was the moment where my dress is ripped off and get off. I mean, there's nothing conservative about that. But even there, you know, I wasn't like in G-string underwear or anything. I was like, you know, bathing suit level covered. So, yeah, a little more conservative. But how did we get into that? How did we jump from spiritual talk to my butt? What's going on here?
Because we went from one passion to another.
One passion to another. All
right,
so
look,
let me just share this.
Yes, go for it.
I'll share this story. So, you know, I've always been a believer in God, but just, you know, not sure, like, you know, what path to take. And I, you know, I really am a believer that, you know, we do have a creator. And one of the ways that you can know who you are and how you're created to function and kind of the blueprint for your life, if you will, is to know the one who made you. Like if you want to know the ins and outs of a building, if you can connect with the architect, they can give you the whole thing. Like they can literally lay out the blueprint, right? So I remember kind of searching for that, like wanting to know who am I and why am I struggling with these areas and you know, how do I get free from things? And so I was seeking and searching and you know, I said, God, I want you, but I don't want something uptight and religious, you know? And is that what does it have to be that way? Like if I connect with God, do I have to be like an uptight religious person, or can I still enjoy things? And can I have a fun personality? Does being, you know, connected with God mean that I have to move to Africa and dig wells and sleep on dirt? You know, can I still have cute shoes? Can I do these things and still be like a godly person, you know? Because something in me had a sense that if I could connect with God in a more authentic way, it would directly correlate to dealing with some of the things I was dealing with. So I just knew that there was more than what I was experiencing. So that drive for more led me on a little bit of a quest. And I was just asking in my heart, like, God, just reveal yourself to me. And I really believe that that's something we can all do. You know, if there's something in you and you're looking for a little bit more in life, you know that you have a greater purpose, you don't know how to find that, how to get free from stuff that's holding you back, you just start asking. You know, you just seek and say, God, just reveal yourself to me. Speak to me in a way that I'll understand. And God's so personal. You know, he'll speak in very funny ways that are not religious. Like you don't have to go to church to hear from God, right? So I'm at an audition one day, sitting in the waiting room, and I flip through a magazine. I'm just sitting waiting. There's a magazine on the table. I start flipping through it. And there's an article in the magazine about Michelangelo. And Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel, sculpted David, the whole thing. And so I'm kind of drawn into this article and I start to read it. And it said in the article, it just captured me. It said when Michelangelo went to sculpt, he didn't try to create a sculpture. He would stand in front of this huge piece of marble and he would see the finished work already inside the marble. And all he would do was chip away at the excess that was keeping it from becoming the masterpiece that it already was. Mm-hmm. And when I read that, something just happened, like kind of like when I had that Counterfeit Comforts, and I feel like something spoke to me, like the Lord spoke to me. When I read that, something just kind of washed over me. And I felt like God was saying, that's who I am. I'm not going to take away your personality. I'm not going to take away your fun. You don't have to dig wells and move to Africa unless you want to. You don't have to do that. Right. But if you'll allow me, I'm going to chip away at the fear and the food issues and the insecurity and the bondage and everything that's keeping you from being this masterpiece that I created you to be.
Right.
And so that was kind of the beginning of just really opening my heart to more, and finding it in a way that was different than what I grew up in. Some of us have ideas about God, or we've had experiences in our lives that we're like, I don't want that, so we equate it with what we've experienced. And we're like, if that's what it is, I don't want that. I'm going to go the other direction. So I had to unravel some of that for myself and realize, well, I've had some experiences and I've had some upbringing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the authentic, real deal situation. So if this is speaking to you right now, then maybe this is a little sign. You're here for a reason. And it's more than just Prince, maybe this is a little opportunity for you to break some strongholds in your life, get some peace in your mind, get some clarity about purpose and what you want to do. And that is what I do now. I'm a teacher and a coach, and I just really help bring out the best in women in particular, but I do work with some men as well.
For sure. And it's just so interesting, just because in the sense that people that found their religious belongings or whatnot, or God, while working after Prince, you had like Des Dickerson, Denise Matthews,
all the girls,
even like Joshua Welton and Hannah Welton later on in his career as well. It's
Prince
just
drove us all into the arms of God. And then Prince did in his own way. He became a Jehovah's Witness. And I was actually always hoping that there would be a full circle time where I'd be able to connect with him and kind of share some things with him about where he was, and maybe open him up to something that was along the same lines, but not quite as like legalistic, if you will. But we unfortunately did not get that opportunity. But he was always a very spiritual person, no question about it.
For sure. Just many different things. It's just like when you talk about like what you guys were being, you were being sexy, but without having to be dirty. The way that you were dressed, even though it was more, everything about that era was just sexy, not just the whole dress being taken off or whatnot, just these whole different things. And lastly, just to wrap up, because Tia's like, tell the Hell's Angels story. What's that about?
Oh my gosh, you guys really want me to go there?
If there's too much time to go, we can like I said, I want to have you back after the release with other people that are going to be a surprise, so we can do it then. We have
time for like one more thing. Will you tell me? Is there anything else you want to show me? Are there any other Prince questions you want to ask? Do you want to stay in the spiritual zone? Do people want to ask any questions? I think we should maybe see if there's any questions from.
I know some of the questions were like about, someone was talking about how was it like when Prince was taking your finger for the cream thing. I saw that and I
was like, all good. What's not to like?
I mean, oh, you want some of yours, not some of mine. Just like,
yeah, I didn't expect that. That was a surprise. Yeah, didn't expect that.
Some of these, that wasn't scripted in the video.
No.
Huh. Interesting. I'm looking at some of this stuff. I know there was questions earlier, but if there's any questions now, hopefully you won't get it. But we can always go through other things really quick, just like we have that one photo of you guys that you really like. There's a color shot and other things. It's so funny because like that video, like that's one of your favorite photo shoots.
I loved that shoot. I just thought there were so many amazing photos.
Especially because there's also not only that outfit, but one of him in red.
Yeah.
And you girls are like on his legs or whatnot.
I know. Just that picture. I just love that picture. And let me see. Did my spirituality play a part in choosing my role in Unplanned? Yes. So I had retired from acting, and I've been just teaching and coaching and authoring and helping people for many, many years. Left acting, never had any intention of ever going back to acting. And then through another kind of a God thing, a random series of events. I mean, there's thousands of actresses that are clamoring for roles, and I haven't had an agent. I hadn't done anything for 13, 14, 15 years. And I was actually in Nashville on a talk show promoting my book And just, again, through just an unbelievable series of events that just don't even make sense, like a snowstorm in Nashville, someone missing a plane, me meeting them, I should never have met them. They happen to know the writer-directors of this movie Unplanned. They just sensed as soon as they met me, you're supposed to meet them, you're supposed to do this movie. I was like, I'm not even really doing movies anymore. But I went back to LA. I met these gentlemen, Carrie and Chuck, who wrote this film. And they told me a little bit about it, and I was very intrigued, and I read the script, and I just thought the script was incredible, and went on an audition after 15 years of not auditioning and was totally rusty, but wound up pulling it off and got this role in this movie Unplanned. And if you've never seen it, I'm definitely quite proud of it. It's a really great movie, and I think you can see it on Amazon. It was in theaters for a bit, and it's on Amazon now, so yeah.
The last question, because someone already talked about what was in your vault, show us, but you already did.
Yep, I showed you all the vault stuff.
What was
I have more like newspaper clippings and things, but I didn't pull those up.
What was your favorite song to perform on the tour?
Oh gosh, there were so many. I loved Thunder. I thought that was a great song.
Right.
Was that the name of the song actually? Yeah. Thunder, right? Yeah.
Actually,
no, it's been a long time. I think that's how we opened the show, and we were in like these silver lame outfits, and we're on stage, and it's dark, and then it's like and the lights came, and there's the thunder, and I'm on like one podium, and Lori's on the other podium, way on the other side of the stage, and it was just like, I loved that. That was great. Were we in Cream? Did we do that on stage?
Sometimes.
I don't know.
It wasn't always in the set list.
It wasn't, was it?
All the time.
No.
Now, the song that you guys rehearsed, and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to do it, and then you didn't do it.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that. I just loved doing the show. I loved all of it. But maybe Thunder was my favorite.
Thunder was your favorite.
Carmen was there for a minute. They flew her in, and she did some rapping for a second or two, and then My Tay was there.
Opened some dates.
What's
and
that?
My Tay was on that tour.
Yeah, My Tay was on the tour, and that's when we got to know her. And yeah.
For sure on that. And we'll have your website going on it. But Robia, it's been a pleasure having you on. I thank you so much for having Tia reach out like last month to have you on and do stuff.
Thanks, Tia, for making the connection. That's awesome.
Yes. And like I said, we gotta after the thing comes out, a little surprise, we'll do it, and hopefully we can have you be on it. But I thank you so much for your time and sharing stuff. And please go to our website, get her book. And is there anything that you want to say towards the end?
I think so. I think we said it all. This was great. It was great hearing from everybody. I hope you got some little insight and tidbits into the Prince world. And apparently maybe into your world as well. But this was a pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being such a great interviewer.
You're welcome. And I will be sending you the videos, but I will also be posting those on social media. I can't believe some of those that you didn't remember. And I'm like, you guys are both in it, but
please send me that one of the the name that I can't pronounce.
Kevin, and let me give just props to Kevin from Japan, who tried to get me to pronounce it correctly. And I still butchered it. Kahor Obi Okohi Uramaki.
That's
man, I'm gonna get so much crap. I mean,
I think you did a pretty good job. That's not easy.
That's right.
All right, everybody. Bless you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Robia. Love it. Thank you guys for being patient. Thank you for all this stuff. There's going to be more things to come. Hopefully, we're able to ask everything that you wanted to have done. I'm just so appreciative and all these other things. You know, we're not going to be doing an after show tonight. We will be having another show. We're going to be having some really awesome guests coming up. I will not be saying who they are yet until we have them confirmed. And we're going to be doing this stuff. I'm sure she'll go back and read the comments from the shows, but I appreciate you guys and doing this stuff. The Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe set comes out October 27th. Just want to also say, you know, not doing this in any official capacity, as you guys know, just doing this just because I care. We want to do this stuff and we're trying to have it be as professional as possible. And hopefully they'll reach out to her to have her be involved. But I appreciate you guys. I will be seeing you soon. You can always donate, do stuff. I hope that we got everything you wanted to cover. There was just a lot that I had, just with how my brain works and just being, an archivist in that sense. And just wanting to make sure we get some things clear and clarified from 51 hours to unreleased videos and all these different things. Thank you for being on this journey with me for this episode. I can't wait for the next one. Thank you guys for subscribing on YouTube, sharing it everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, every other place. Till next time, keep it funky. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Prince. Much love, guys.